Hi, welcome to another episode of Norway with Paul. I'm currently in Bergen, the gateway to the fjords, and I'm about to embark on a 2-day journey through fjord country, which is eventually going to take me to Oslo. This journey, also known as Sognefjord in a nutshell, starts by hopping on a ferry in Bergen, riding it north along the western coast of Norway, into the majestic Sognefjord, past several fjord villages and waterfalls, cruise into the Fjord to the village of Flåm, where you'll hop on the scenic Flåm railroad, taking you up the mountainside to Myrdal before boarding a train to Oslo or back to Bergen. It's a great journey where you combine ferry and train while getting to experience some of the most stunning nature and fjord country that Norway has to offer. In this episode, I break up the trip and spend one night in the fjord village of Balestrand, enjoying locally produced cider, great food, stunning views, a rewarding hike, and of course, a dip in the fjord. The ticket for this cruise can be bought on the Fjord Tours website, and although it can be done all year around, the main season goes from 1st of April to 31st of October. In the early morning, I locate the Nordled Express ferry, which departs from downtown Bergen. It's moored right next from the fish market and easy to spot. In the high season from June to August, the lines can be long, so it's wise to show up at least 30 to 40 minutes in advance to get nice seats. But on this morning in early May, there's still not much crowds to speak of, so equipped with the ticket on my phone, I'm all set to embark. The ferry is modern and equipped with the latest amenities for a comfortable and enjoyable journey. They offer a spacious interior, comfortable seating, a designated luggage area for storing larger pieces of luggage, electric outputs for charging your phone or laptop, and a small but well-stocked cafe. All around the ferry are large panoramic windows for great views of the landscape, and you can also choose to stand up on deck to soak up some sun and get some wind in your hair while watching the scenery pass by. So when you're on a ferry on the west coast of Norway, there are two things that you need to try out. Sort of a traditional ferry combo. It's the Ferry coffee, which is ferry coffee, just regular black coffee. And then you have something here which is called svele, which is like a buttermilk pancake. And this one has butter and brown cheese on it. As the ferry pulls away from Bergen, you can take in the harborfront of the city with its colorful houses and a mix of smaller boats and larger ships docked along the quay. Shortly after, the scenery begins to transform and reveals the characteristic Norwegian coastal landscape, a mix of rugged cliffs, charming houses, and small islands. After a couple of hours, the ferry slowly turns right and begins its journey into the Sognefjord, which is the longest and deepest fjord in Norway, also known as the King of the Fjords. The fjord's landscape is best described as a harmonious blend of water and mountains. So it is possible to go out on deck on this ferry. On the stern of the ship it's more quiet, while here at the bow it's pretty windy. So bring a good wind jacket with you. I found this a good time to be up on the front deck, and I love those moments when the wind is so strong you can lean against it. It's a moment to feel truly alive, connected to the raw power of nature. Along the way, the ferry will make regular stops at small villages, like here at the village of Vikøyri. These stops are short and efficient, so make sure to be ready with your luggage when it's your turn to get off. I'll not be getting off in Vikøyri though, but instead continue across the fjord to the next stop. After a 4 hours cruise from Bergen, the ferry now approaches the village of Balestrand, and the landscape transforms into a picturesque postcard. So after a 4-hour fjord cruise, we have arrived to the fjord village of Balestrand. Now, to be honest, there are several villages you can stay in on this journey, but I've chosen to stay here in Balestrand because I think it's the most charming and idyllic village in the Sognefjord area. I've also chosen to stay at one of my favorite hotels in this region, and that is the Kviknes Hotel. Hotel Kviknes, a historic landmark overlooking the Sognefjord, is an iconic hotel that has been welcoming guests since the 18th century. The hotel is known for its rich history
stunning architecture, and warm hospitality. Kviknes offers an unforgettable experience for travelers seeking a touch of luxury amidst Norway's natural beauty. The rooms at Kviknes are all different. Some are in the old historical building, while others are in the newer building connected to the back of the hotel. Most rooms offer great views of the fjord and surrounding mountains. I opted for a room on the east side to catch the morning sun, but I found both the morning and evening to be equally glorious.
Well, this is what I call a room with a fjord view. You see the snow-capped mountains, you see the fjord, you see ferries, boats, and a little farm over on the other end there.
I'm just staying one night in Balestrand, so to make the most out of my time here, I checked into the hotel just after we arrived and started exploring Balestrand by foot. I find the village small enough to navigate easily, allowing visitors to immerse themselves in its charm. A leisurely stroll along the waterfront offers breathtaking views of the Sognefjord with its still waters reflecting the surrounding mountains. In the town you can discover a few quaint shops, small exhibitions and cafes nestled among traditional Norwegian houses. The pace of life here is gentle, making it the perfect place to unwind, soak up the local atmosphere, and sip on some Sognefjord fruit juice. Other activities in Balestrand can include kayaking or perhaps a thrilling Rib Fjord cruise. I continue exploring by walking westward along the fjord. Here you'll come by the late 19th century St. Olav's Church, with architecture inspired by the old stave churches. I recommend peeking inside this very special church with its beautiful wooden interior. Up on the wall is a banner depicting St. Olav, the patron saint of Norway. Further along the fjord promenade you can find old burial mounds dating back to Viking times and before, and you can learn about King Bele and his connection to Balestrand. Continuing, you'll discover that Balestrand has an abundance of fruit trees growing basically everywhere. The region's unique climate and rich orchard tradition have cultivated a thriving hard cider scene. Local cideries like the Balestrand Ciderhuset have garnered attention for their innovative approach to cider making. Visitors can indulge in a variety of flavors, from crisp and dry to sweet and sparkling. Paired with the stunning fjord views, this is not something you want to miss out on. At the cider house, I also had the chance to chat with Gard, one of the owners.
So Gard, for how long have you been operating here in Balestrand?
So my family planted the first tree in 1922. I took over in 2019.
Okay, so it's a family-owned, family-run business.
It is. I'm the fourth generation. My great-grandfather, he made ciders which was that strong that after 3 glasses, then the knees should be totally gone.
Yeah. So, Gard, I know you also have a lot of non-alcoholic ciders, and you have won some awards as well. Any specific kind you want to bring out?
This one, we got the gold medal in Norges beste drikke. So this is margaret, apple and rhubarb, organic.
Sparkling?
Sparkling, yes.
Yeah.
And it's a history here about Margaret Sophie Green. Kviknes, she came from England, was a priest's daughter. She came here and then fell in love with one of the Kviknes brother. And then she decided to build the Anglican church, and then she died before the church was finished.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we wanted to, and then the husband, he built up the church.
Okay. So you wanted to honor her memory?
Honor her, yes.
Okay. Thanks for showing us around here today.
Just a pleasure.
I'll be back for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
After tasting ciders and walking around, it's time for dinner.
All right, it's time for dinner, and we're going to enjoy the epic Kviknes buffet. So this place has the best wine menu, probably in the whole Sognefjord region. 12 pages of wine. However, as I'm more of a beer person, I think we're going to go for one of the local beers.
The buffet features a wide array of both hot and cold dishes, with a strong emphasis on fresh local ingredients. Expect to find a tempting selection of seafood, including salmon, cod, and shrimp, as well as hearty meat dishes like reindeer and lamb. The dessert table is equally impressive, with a variety of cakes, pastries, and ice creams to satisfy any sweet tooth. After dinner, I truly enjoy a relaxing evening in Balestrand, taking in the great views and atmosphere of this Norwegian gem. On day 2 in Balestrand, after a night of great sleep, I woke up to a sunny, warm morning. Since I only have until noon before I need to catch the ferry, I decided to get up early and start the day with a hike before breakfast.
Good morning. We have decided to do a little hike just to enjoy some nice views and work up the appetite before breakfast. There's a lot of hikes in the area here. There's a lot of trails, and if you ask in the reception where you stay, then they can give you one of these maps where you can see all the trails are marked.
Surrounded by nature, you don't have to walk far to find a hiking path in Balestrand. You start by strolling through town, following the signs pointing to the nature trails, and after a short uphill walk, you'll find yourself at the foot of the forest. Maps and signs along the way give an indication of where you are, where the various paths are headed, and how long they are. From here, I decided to set my course up to one of the many viewpoints up on the hillside. The one I chose is named Bergen. The hike is estimated to take about 2 hours round trip if you're fairly fit, but there are other much longer hikes in the area. It's also hard to get lost since all paths going down will take you to the fjord. Still, bring good shoes, water, and check the weather forecast before you leave.
Nice little benches along the way. Good for a little water break. And look at that view. Wow.
The hike to Bergen offers a rewarding escape with the trail winding its way upwards, passing through lush green forests and offering glimpses of the fjord below. The ascent is steady, providing a good workout while being immersed in the serene Norwegian nature.
Wow. What a view. Definitely worth it. I think we spent about 45 minutes up here, and it's mildly strenuous, it's up, but definitely worth it when you get up here and you see this beautiful view, which we're going to enjoy now for a little while, and then we're going to walk down again, jump in the fjord, have some breakfast, and go to Flåm. Well, it's time to jump into the fjord. It's early May, glacial melt. I think it's going to be pretty refreshing, but when in Balestrand. Oh boy, that was pretty refreshing, but in a way it feels better afterwards. Now I'm gonna dry up and then it's time for some breakfast.
Breakfast takes place in the same room as the dinner the night before, and there is no shortage of various spreads. With fresh coffee and panoramic views, this is a great way to start the day, getting ready for new adventures. So we spent one night here in Balestrand, and you can definitely spend more time here, do a full day for instance, but with an afternoon and a morning you can cover quite a bit of ground here. So next now is that we're going to go on the same ferry that we got off yesterday, and we're going to ride it to Flåm, and then eventually 2 scenic train rides will bring us back to Oslo. The ferry ride from Balestrand to Flåm is another tranquil journey through Norway's stunning fjord landscape. As the boat glides through the calm waters, passengers are treated to a serene panorama of mountains, waterfalls, and lush greenery. The ferry also takes a short detour into the UNESCO-listed Fjord, a narrower and even more dramatic stretch of water. Here you find towering cliffs rise sharply on either side, with powerful waterfalls coming down the hillsides, offering a glimpse into the raw beauty of the Norwegian fjords. In Flåm, I have a couple of hours to spend before catching the Flåmsbana train. Flåm can be a busy place, much due to the fact that cruise ships occasionally moor here, and the Norway in a Nutshell trip passes through. For more about Norway in a nutshell, check out another episode I made. With 2 hours, I decided to stroll around, say hi to the local goats, and thank them for the Norwegian brown cheese. I also took time to visit one of the many souvenir stores, but I must admit I did not shop anything this time, even though the Norwegian sweaters are quite tempting. The one I'm trying on here is a traditional one known as a lusekofte. Later, I drank an ale at the Ægir brewpub. This place is a Viking-inspired experience, blending Norse mythology with modern craft brewing. With driftwood walls and a towering fireplace, Ægir transports you back to a time of Thor and Odin. Of course, the star of the show is the beer. Ægir Brewery produces a wide range of award-winning craft beers, skål, that can be paired with a tasty food menu. Lastly, I finished off with a cup of soft-serve ice cream with chocolate topping. I'm all good to go. So the time has come to jump on the Flåm railway, which is going to go up the mountain to the station of Myrdal. And Flåm is super small. The ferry is
there, and the train station is there.
I board the Flåmsbana train and put my luggage in the overhead compartment. Today, the train did not have a lot of passengers, but in the high season it can fill up, and lining up early can be an advantage in order to get good seats. The Flåm railway is a marvel of engineering that winds its way from the fjord up to the lofty heights of Myrdal up in the mountains. As the train departs Flåm, it gradually ascends through lush green valleys, passing by cascading waterfalls and traditional Norwegian farmsteads. The higher the train climbs, the more dramatic the scenery becomes. About midway, you can get off to get an up-close view of an impressive waterfall. And if you're lucky, you might see the Huldra dance in her red dress, trying to lure men into the underworld. The journey culminates at Myrdal, a mountain station that serves as a hub for train connections. From here, passengers can continue their adventure by exploring the surrounding mountains or embarking on another train journey which can take you back to Bergen, or in my case, to Oslo.
All right, we arrived up to the Myrdal station. We basically went from spring weather down in the valley to full winter weather here up in the mountains. So we just got off the Flåm railway on this side. You basically just cross the platform and then the Oslo train will arrive on the other side. So this station is super small. There's a small waiting room here in case of bad weather. There are restrooms and then there's a cafe where you can have a little snack while you wait.
The comfortable train connecting Myrdal to Oslo, also known as the Bergen Railway, is a great way to end the journey. As the train winds its way eastward, passengers are treated to a panorama of mountains, forests and tranquil lakes.
So we're on the last leg. We're on the train from Myrdal to Oslo. It's going to take about 4 hours and 45 minutes. It's a very comfortable train ride. There's a cafe here where you can go grab some snacks, some dinner, some lunch, whatever. There's electric outlets, you can charge your devices. There are places where you can put your luggage and so on. So yeah, basically just sit back and enjoy the view. If you want to know more about this specific train ride, I recommend you to check out my Norway in a nutshell episode.
I'm back home in Oslo after 2 very enjoyable days exploring the Sognefjord region. I want to say thank you to all my patrons for your support. Like and subscribe my channel, and I'm going to post a link below to how you can book this journey yourself. Ha det bra!